Boxing Lowdown, and I'm back here with another video now. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Feel free to drop a comment if you like, and I'll happily get back to you. Now, it's been a while since I've actually done one of these videos where I'm just literally talking on my own. Those that have been subscribed to the channel have seen that I've done quite a few streams with my dad, with the podcast every week. The fantasy fights, that is with you in boxing. I'm going to be doing another one of them today, so look out for that over the next couple of days, I'd say. And yeah, some of the fan talks. So it's been good to interact with other people, but I still want to do these sort of videos as well. I still want to be able to sit down on my chair in front of you guys and give an opinion. So let's talk about the last weekend's fights that have just happened. It was a big action. Some big cards over the weekend. There was 3 big cards actually. One of them was over here in London, and that was Derek Chisora against Alexander Usyk. Usyk winning the unanimous points decision over Derek Chisora. 117-112 on one of the scorecards and 115-113 on the other 2. Now, there's been a lot of divided opinion, I'd say. Not necessarily over who they think won. I think the majority of people are in agreement that Alexander Usyk did win the fight. However, there has been, quite a different opinion in terms of the scorecards. Now, 117-112, obviously it's a lot wider than 115-113. And what kind of fight did you see it as? Did you see it as a closer fight than many expected, and 115-113 was correct? Now, I was looking at some of the interviews on IFL TV after the fight, and the opinion from those that were there, albeit they would be, rooting for Chisora, like a lot of the matchroom people, like Tony Bellew, Dave Caldwell, they saw it as a lot closer. Eddie Hearn, and even Alexander Usyk's manager, apparently he saw it as a draw as well. But for those watching it on TV, like people like myself and quite a few others, I saw it as Alexander Usyk winning maybe a bit wider than the 115-113. I think 116-112, I thought that was pretty accurate for me, but I didn't keep a running scorecard of the fight. And, I don't know, I'd have to watch it again. But it was a competitive fight, let's just say that. Even though you had a clear winner, in my opinion, it was still a competitive fight. Derek Chisora did bring the heat to Usyk, and at times he did look uncomfortable, I have to say. In the opening round especially, Usyk did look uncomfortable, but styles make fights. Chisora, he's going to bull in there. He was winging away. We all knew what he was going to do, and that's what he did. So naturally, it will be uncomfortable for Usyk, who hasn't really been in there as a pro with a heavyweight like Chisora. And this was his first real test of the division, because I know he did fight Chaz Witherspoon before, but he's not on the level of Derek Chisora. So yeah, I think that this was like the first real heavyweight test for Alexander Usyk. And he came through some rough moments in there. Derek Chisora definitely was putting the pressure on him, hitting the body. And, he was missing a lot, let's be honest. But he was still bringing the heat to Alexander Usyk. And he had to be alert throughout the fight. So, yeah, after the fight, you could even see Alexander Usyk. He kind of took like a deep breath as if to say, that one's over with. So, yeah, a lot of differing opinion on the scorecards, how people saw the fight. And I want to get your opinion as to how you saw it. Did you see it as a comprehensive points win for Usyk, or like Derek Chisora only winning a few rounds? Or did you see it as a lot closer, like where some people were saying? Now, there was some criticism about the commentary, the Sky commentary. It did seem to be, at times, I have to be honest, at times it did seem to be like they were really cheering on Usyk. Some of the comments I was hearing, I mean, Usyk did box very well, but I don't know how much credit Chisora got for hitting the body. And he was whacking Usyk's body throughout the fight. But body shots, I mean, unless they're really folding a guy over, they don't get that much credit, I don't think, in the professional setting, or even an amateur setting, actually, really. So, yeah, I think that was a bit missed. But for me, there was no doubt as to who won the fight. Alexander Usyk definitely won it for me. But it was a very competitive fight. And Chisora did definitely push him all the way. I think in the middle rounds, it did seem like that Alexander Usyk was getting on top, and there was even the threat of him stopping Chisora, because it seemed like that Chisora was so gassed after the 4th or 5th round. He looked really tired, Chisora, because he was putting everything into it. And there were some moments at the end of the rounds where Alexander Usyk would land a combination, a 1-2 shot, and it would wobble Chisora. And then it looked like that he might not be able to last too much longer. But he picked up a second wind, and he managed to, fight out for the 12 rounds, and he lost the decision. But listen, it was an entertaining fight for me. I enjoyed it. And it was good to see, Alexander Usyk in with a test like Derek. Chisora said he's not going to be retiring anytime soon. So, yeah, expect to see more of him over the next year. And as for Usyk, he's going to be chasing the showdown with Anthony Joshua. Now, he's the WBO mandatory #1. Anthony Joshua, of course, is fighting Kubrat Pulev in December. Now, he's going to push for that fight. So this fight between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, whether it will be for all of the belts remains to be seen, because I can see them getting split up, unfortunately. I mean, I'd love it for it to be for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. It's only right. But I think that Usyk's going to pursue this mandatory, and Anthony Joshua will have to fight him, otherwise he'll get stripped. So let's just see what happens there. But yeah, good fight over here in London. Now let's talk about some of the fights over in the States. First of all, let's go to Premier Boxing Champions. It was Gervonta Davis taking on Leo Santa Cruz, Showtime pay-per-view. Now, fantastic fight, man. Fantastic fight this was. And if you haven't seen it, make sure you go check it out. It will be on YouTube by now. But listen, I knew Leo Santa Cruz was a good fighter. I know he's been a champion at lower weights. And when initially going into this fight, I was thinking of it as he's too small for Gervonta Davis. I don't know how much problem he's going to cause him. And I just think that Gervonta Davis, he's short and stocky, but he's quite big and powerful at the same time. So I thought that, yeah, he might end up stopping Leo Santa Cruz. He's never been stopped before up until last weekend. And you know what? In the first few rounds, for sure, up until the 4th, 5th round, Leo Santa Cruz was really, he could have missed Gervonta Davis, really. He was landing at will with some of the combination punches. He had the crowd behind him there at Texas. And he was doing very well, man. He was fighting for his dad, who is not very well at all at the moment. I mean, he overcame cancer unbelievably, and then he overcame COVID. You know, he nearly died from COVID-19. So Leo Santa Cruz had a lot to fight for, and you could see it in the way how he was fighting. But the issue was that even though he was having his successes against Gervonta Davis, you don't brawl with a puncher, like a trader like Gervonta. And he got caught up in the fire, and a hellacious uppercut from Gervonta Davis in the 6th round knocked Leo Santa Cruz out cold and ended up stopping the fight. Now, it was an unbelievable knockout. For me, knockout of the year so far. It was a devastating uppercut from Gervonta Davis. And if you guys haven't seen it, I'm sure you have. It went viral. Even some of my mates that don't like boxing were asking about that. They were like, well, did you see that knockout? So, yeah, it really went viral, that knockout did. And I'm glad that Leo Santa Cruz is okay, because when I was watching it live, I was like, you know, it was a fantastic knockout, but I was looking at the way how Leo Santa Cruz fell. I was looking at how his body was limp afterwards. He was out for quite a while. I was worried for him, and then I think the emotion of thinking about him and his dad and, you know, what he was fighting for, it was a bit of a scary time there, but I'm glad that he managed to get up. I've seen a couple of interviews after the fight. He seems fine, but it was a devastating uppercut from Gervonta Davis, and he has that power. He has that one-hitter-quitter type of power, man. I mean, he can, that sort of power that Deontay Wilder has, that Inoue has, we'll be getting onto, that sort of power can just change the flow of a fight. One single punch. Not everybody has that, and Gervonta Davis does. And we saw it against Leo Santa Cruz. I think he was making a way into the fight anyway. From the 4th round onwards, I think he was starting to land some body shots, and he was starting to put a bit more pressure on Leo Santa Cruz. He was starting to land a bit more. And he did wobble Leo Santa Cruz before the knockout. So he was starting to make a way into the fight. But the ending was just spectacular, man. So fantastic win for Gervonta Davis there. I think that was his first pay-per-view headliner. Now it's onwards and upwards for him from here. I mean, hopefully we get to see him move back up to the lightweight division and take on some of these stars. I mean, it's a star-studded division at lightweight right now. And you look at who we've got up there. You've got Devin Haney, who's fighting this weekend. Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia, Luke Campbell, Richard Comey still in the mix, Vasyl Lomachenko if he comes back. It's a fantastic division, and I want to see Gervonta Davis up there fighting against those guys. But let's see what happens, man. Fantastic show over there in Texas. And lastly, I just want to quickly speak about Inoue Inoue against Jason Moloney. I couldn't watch this live, unfortunately, but, you know, Inoue Inoue with a 6th, 7th round knockout, I believe it was, over Jason Moloney. He's also got that particular one-hitter-quitter. Fantastic fighter, Inoue, and I think that he should be a lot bigger than what he is. Unfortunately, he's not, considering his weight division, considering that boxing is not as popular over in Japan as it is over here, let's say in the UK or in America. But he's a massive star, and I'd like to see him featured a lot more. Now, Inoue, I mean, he has boxed over here before, and he is boxing in America under Top Rank, so I think that he will be getting some of that sort of attention that he needs. But this guy is a top-level fighter, man, top pound-for-pound, 3 to 5, top 5 fighter for sure. I mean, he could be anywhere in your top 5, and not many people would argue. He's that good, And he's got that technique, he's got power, and it was an assured performance over Jason Moloney, who was really just out of his depth against someone like Inoue. But, you know, that's not a disgrace considering how much of a great fighter he is. Now, at bantamweight, I don't see anybody beating him. I mean, there are some good fighters there, but I just think that now Inoue is he's a special talent, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of him and where he goes next in his career. So that pretty much rounds it up, man. I mean, we had a lot of good action last weekend. Did some great fan talk interviews with some of the boxing fans. If you haven't seen those videos, feel free to check them out. And we move on. I mean, the winter schedule is looking very good. We've got some great fights coming up over the next few weeks. We've got Devin Haney against Yuriorkis Gamboa this weekend. Luis Ortiz returns to action against Alexander Flores. Then next weekend, we've got Kell Brook fighting Terence Crawford. We've got Dillian White taking on Povetkin the week after. So, look, there's loads of fights, man. I know it's tough times for everybody right now, but at least the boxing is still on. At least we got something to watch. And just all of you guys, man, just stay safe out there. And let me know your thoughts and opinions on all of the fights over the last weekend, some of the fights that are coming up, which ones are you looking forward to. And there's going to be more content from myself, man. I'm going to be recording my podcast, episode 4 with Dad tomorrow. So that should be up by the end of the week. And yeah, a lot more to come from me. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you all for being on the journey so far. Please hit the like button on the way out and subscribe. We're getting there. We're slowly getting up there in terms of the subscriber count. So thank you all for your support once again. And I'll catch you all in the next video.